Okay, so we are going to be making our leopard today. We are going to be doing our real deal on our really nice, pretty piece of textured paper with all of our different values of orange. So today we are going to draw him out step by step, and then I am going to show you how we are going to color him. So let's begin. Okay, the very first thing we're going to do, remember we're going to start in the center. I like to start from the center and work my way out, and we're going to do that little nose, that little upside down triangle. We're going to start out with that. I will be using a white pastel. You will be using a pencil in case you need to erase. I would suggest that you not press real hard in case you need to erase. So just kind of gently draw out or sketch out your leopard. And then you're going to go back over it with a black oil pastel and you're going to trace him. All right, so here we go. Remember, I'm going to go about the center of the page, and I really want that V to be wide. Okay, and remember, I'm going to do the roundy top. It's going to give him form. Okay, and then remember I'm going to put that capital A, and you want that kind of big. That's the bridge of the nose. You want that kind of high. You want his nose to go back. All right, remember I'm going to do a big circle here. This is going to be the eye, and we really want a big enough circle in here to put that green in his eye so that it will pop out. I'm going to come to the other side. Remember, you want it about the same size. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and add that iris. So you want to put a big circle inside of you want to put a medium-sized circle inside of the big circle. And then this will be colored black, but we will leave a reflective light. And I'll do that whenever I go back with my black oil pastel. Okay, now we're going to do that muzzle. So we're going to go down. Remember, about halfway up the page, we're going to stop right at the end of the nose. Do the same thing on the other side. Okay, I'm going to drop down. I'm going to make that chin. I'm going to do the tongue. Same little U shape. And that curved tongue. Now I'm going to come back. I'm going to do that face. Now mine's going to I'm going to come up halfway up the muzzle. Mine's going to actually come off the page a little bit because I want his face a little fat. So I'll pick it right back up here, about halfway up the eye. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to come to the same spot, make sure it's about even, wrap it around. You want to stop about halfway up the eye. So it's almost like big C's. And then remember, I'm going to connect this with a big V, a big wide V. These are his little eyebrows that we'll color in. Let's go ahead and add those ears. Remember the ears, they are about right up where the eye is. We're just going to do a big U, upside down U. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to come to the top of the eye. Okay, now we're going to put a little U. That's the inside of the ear. Do the same thing on this side. Okay, now we're going to have his neck so that we have a leopard looking at us. We're going to add his neck. You can either do it on this side or this side. Doesn't matter. So I'm going to come to about the bottom of his muzzle. And I'm going to do a slanty line back. And then I'm going to come to the top of his muzzle, slanty line. All right. Now we are going to go ahead and do we're going to add a little bit of detail, but then we're going to go right into our oil pastel. So let's just go ahead. Remember, he is going to have spots. So if you want to go ahead and place your spots where you want to go over them with your oil pastel, might be a good idea. We'll do that first because if you don't like it, you can erase it. And remember, we're not going to do the muzzle. We're just going to keep the spots on the face. You want to balance it out. So I just want a few. Remember, you don't want to get too busy with it. Okay, now we're going to do the whiskers, but I don't want to do the whiskers until we take our white oil pastel. And we're going to go ahead and color this white first, because otherwise you're going to get what Miss Rucker got here, and the black and the white will blend and it'll just kind of make a mess. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the white first, because I actually came back and did the white after I did the whiskers. So I think we're going to go ahead and get our white oil pastels, and we're just going to color the muzzle. And it don't have to be real dark. You see, I'm just kind of coloring right up to here. I just thought that would really pop out. We're going to use that white oil pastel to really, those muzzles are kind of bright on cats. They're a lighter color than the rest of the cat. All right, so now we're going to, let's go ahead and do our leaves. We're just going to draw where our vines are going to come in. Remember, we're just going to do a little squiggle line. I'm going to go ahead and place my lines before I go back and do my little backwards, or my little C's. All right, so that's about even up there. And then maybe I want one coming from right here, and that's good. And remember, you're just going to do a backwards Papa C, baby C, forward C, Papa and baby, and if you want to do a couple on here, you can. Remember, we're just giving the impression that there are leaves. Again, I'm going to do those Papa C's, baby C's forward, Papa C, baby C backwards. Again, Papa baby backwards. And then I'm going to come down here. I'm going to do about 3 C's here, baby C's, backward C's, and voila, I have my jungle. I've added space, I've added a background. It looks like he is looking through the jungle. Okay, now you will have, for today, you will have a white oil pastel, you will have pink for his tongue, you will have brown for his spots, you will have 2 values of green to really make those eyes pop out. I will show you how to do that, and then you will have a black, because you will trace him. The very first thing you're going to do is trace him in black. So I want you to take your black oil pastel, and we are going to go ahead and very carefully trace every single line we did. And you really want to make sure you press kind of hard. If you don't press very hard, it's going to look like a crayon. We don't want it to look like a crayon. One of the things about the oil pastels that we really love is that they're really vibrant and colorful, and they almost look like paint if you do it correctly. And you also want to start from the inside and go out, otherwise your hand's going to smear it and it's going to make a mess. So you want to make sure you do the inside first. You want to do the inside, anywhere where your hand's going to be touching. You don't want to do that first because it's going to smear and it is going to make a mess. So be real careful, make sure your hand is up off of the page so that you don't smear your black pastel. And I'm really taking my time on this. All right, I'm going to pause it and I'm going to get through with that, and then I will pick it right back up. All right, as you can see, I've traced my leopard, all but the leaves, and I did not trace my spots because those will be brown. So the very first thing I want you to do is go ahead and go to the center, and we're going to go ahead and fill in his nose black. And you see how I'm kind of pressing hard. If I don't press hard enough, you may as well just be using a black crayon. We don't want to do that. We want it to look like we painted his nose. So we want to really fill in all that white. Take your time. I can pause the video so we can all catch up. I'm going to do this a little quicker. You really want to get in there and get all that white. You want him to be black. And then remember to lift your hand because you don't want to smear your black. So I am actually doing this with my hand lifted so that I'm not smearing my black all over my paper. Okay. Now I'm going to come down to that tongue and I'm going to color that red or pink, whatever color you have out. I'm not going over that black or it's going to smear. I'm actually just going around that black. Okay, now let's do the eyes. And what we're going to do with the eyes is you are actually going to color, you're going to get your light green. We're going to color the eye light green. And then we're going to go in with our dark green. And just on the edge of the, just on one side, you're just going to put a little bit of dark green in there. And see how that pops out? Okay, we're going to do the same thing to this side. We're going to color it green. Just color the whole thing light green. And then you're just going to come to the outside of the eye, and you're just going to add a little bit of dark green, and that's really going to make those eyes look more realistic. Okay, we have to color the inside of the ears black. Again, be really careful you're not smearing. Be very careful. It will smear and make a mess, and then we can't fix it. Okay, and now I'm going to go over my white with my brown for my leopard spots. Again, I'm really careful. Don't want to smear that black. I might have you trace the black last. Remember, I got some spots up next to make it look more 3D. I'll just put them up against the skin. All right, so now we're going to take our two different values of green and we are going to trace our leaves, and then we're going to go over it and we're going to trace it in a lighter green just to really make it pop out. All right, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to get done with that and let you catch up. Okay, so you should have something that looks like this, but we're not done. We are actually going to now go in and add those whiskers. And I'm going to do those 2 rows. Remember, you don't want too many, and they are in a straight line. Make it symmetrical. Now I'm going to add just those 3 lines. And remember, you want to do it from in the muzzle. Don't hang them out on the outside. You want them in the muzzle. And voila, we are done with our leopards. Okay, I will need these turned in to the back counter. And you may read a book quietly when you are done.